Hey guys, today we're going to do the 2016 top 10 piece of gear. Now the criteria for this is just like last year. I had to either own it or review it or both. And, it's just to tell you guys what was the most exciting things I tried this year or purchased. So let's get into it in no particular order. Guys, number 10 is the Friedman Runt 20. Now, this was a very exciting amplifier for this year because I've been looking at the PT20. It's a one-channel amp for $1,500, and I was debating, and I really wished it had a second channel. So when I heard the Runt 20 came out with 2 channels for less money, I had to check it out, and I was very pleasantly pleased. It's one of the best sounding amps I played in many years, and I really, really like it. It fits the bill for almost every situation. It looks great, and it's got a boutique vibe. I know one of the down, kind of plays on it is that it has a PC board instead of hand wired, but to be honest with me, if it sounds good, it is good. It sounds great. It feels like it's built really well. I've really enjoyed it so far, so that's why it made the list. This year, Fender came out with a lot of stuff. They came out with the Fender Elite Strats and Teles. They came out with the Professional Elite Strats and Teles, and of course the Deluxe Strats and Teles in the Mexican lineup. And all three were very, very impressive, but the Elite was definitely the most impressive guitars I have played in many, many years. And I really, really like the neck profile. I like the, what they had to offer. I wish they had more color choices. That was the only negative. In fact, that's the holdback for me for the most part is that it doesn't come in a color that I'm really looking for. I'm looking for an exciting color. And I already have an instrument in that exact color orange. The dual color blues are really cool, but they don't offer the Tim Shaw pickup. So there's a lot of frustrating things about the line, but overall though, quality-wise, that guitar was amazing. Number 8 is the Way Huge Overrated Special Pedal. This is a pedal that I just can't imagine living without. It came out this year and I got it because Joe Bonamassa was using it, and I really found that it had a really kind of a huge thickening effect of the sound when you plug it through a Fender amp. And I'm sure it sounds great through every amp, but I really found that through the Fender amps, it sounds great. 7 is the Streamliner Series by Gretsch. What was impressive about the guitars is, for $450 without the tremolo or $550 with the tremolo, they have the Gretsch vibe, they look great, they're loaded with feature sets, and I enjoy the way they sound. Although I've been tempted to change the pickups just to see what happens, I haven't, because again, the guitar performs at every level, and for that price point to be a Gretsch guitar, it's a really interesting thing, and I hope to continue to do stuff like this, by giving these max value guitars at these great price points. And it was a really cool lineup. That's probably one of the best recommendations I can give you of the year is you need to try one if you're looking at a hollow body. Number 6 is the Bass Breaker 15. Now, it's an interesting amp because it came out in 2015, but they didn't ship any, and we didn't get to try them until 2016. And this amp has a lot of great things going for it. It's got an amazing overdrive tone. It's got a great clean tone. It's for the price point, it really kind of wins the roost, right? When it's sitting against a lot of amplifiers like the Friedmans and everything else at about $1,000 to $1,500, this one's sitting in at considerably less, either in combo or head form, is very impressive. One of the biggest downfalls of the amp, though, is that it wasn't foot switchable. In fact, if it was foot switchable, I would probably use it as one of my main amps all the time. But that still doesn't negate the fact that it's a great amplifier and one of the best interesting amplifiers out for 2016. Number 5 is the new Neighbor Immerse Reverberator pedal. And this pedal was an amazing reverb pedal. And I have to mention that the MXR reverb pedal is definitely an amazing pedal as well. And all year I've been flip-flopping about which one I like better. And what ended up happening was at the last minute I decided, you know what, I've been factoring in price and I'm going to take that out of the equation just to see if that changes it. And as soon as I say the price comes out of the equation, I like the new Neighbor more in every way. I like its feature sets, I like the way it's constructed, I like how it's built. I like its look. There's everything about it I like more than the MXR. And like I said, the MXR I kept leaning toward because it's a great pedal and it's less money. So I'm going to give that the runner-up in this category, but definitely the Immerse is the winner. Number 4 is the Friedmann Beodi pedal. It's a great pedal. In fact, it took the internet by storm. And it almost didn't make the list, and here's why. It has a huge thing that bugs me, which is, I'll show you right here, is the power supply where you plug in is mounted to the board and not mounted to the casing. And I know that's going to be a problem in the long run. And that almost kept it off the list. But realistically, I go, you know what? It sounds great. It has a ton of great options for tones. I have a lot of fun with the pedal, playing it all the time. And to be honest with you, I think I'm just going to modify mine and improve it that way. I just really wish for $200 they wouldn't have done it that way. It seems like a really inexpensive way to build a pedal, considering for the price point they didn't have to go that route. But let's just focus on the important part, which is it sounds fantastic. Now, I'd like to mention this. Because of that one feature set, this one is going to have an honorable mention. The honorable mention goes to the Pinnacle Deluxe version 2 pedal. Now, that pedal constructed much better, and I like the sounds almost as much, if not as much. So consider that pedal when you're looking at these two. Number 3 is the Boss Katana amps. These amps really are loaded to bear with awesome features and cool looks. They have the Boss Roland branding behind them. The feature set was perfect, not more than what I needed, but you know, more than I could use. But I didn't really feel overwhelmed with all the little switches or controls or screen. It's just really cool. The 100, which is what I reviewed, was fantastic, and I thought the 50 was just as good, if not better, considering that it was only a little smaller and it was, you know, $200. You just can't beat that. In fact, for a Go practice amp, I can't imagine somebody beating a $200 Boss Katana 50 right now. Number 2 was the Lawrence Petros Designs 68 drive pedal. Now this pedal falls into the boutique realm, and very unique because again, he doesn't make very many. And I was very lucky to come across one, and it just blew me away. In a market saturated with all these boutique pedals, it was nice and refreshing to try something that was unique and hit the spot perfectly, right? Not too much drive, not too little drive. It's representing a 68 Marshall, but to me, it's just you plug in an amp and you just get that tone you're looking for when you don't want your amp to be full on distortion, but you need just enough gain to give you sustain. And it was a really cool pedal, and I'm really happy I got to check one out and buy one this year. It's definitely, like I said, it definitely needs to make the list. Before I say number 1, I want to give some honorable mentions and explain why they're honorable mentions. First was the Charvel Pro Mod series for 2016. Although the guitars were fantastic, they really were available the year before. In other words, they were same models, they just upgraded the colors and they added some feature sets by changing the way the pickups were wired, but more importantly, the spindle truss rod. Now that truss rod would get it on the list, except for that was already available through the EVH series the previous year. So again, it's a repackage of what already was before it. Doesn't make it less great, it makes it phenomenal, but when I was making the list, something had to go, and that's why I picked that. The second thing was the Paul Reed Smith 594. That guitar, again, was fantastic. I loved everything about it, except for the whole time I was thinking I wish it was a single cut. Now I realize now they're making a single cut for 2017, and that's the holdback on that guitar. I would have made it on the list, but for me, I would have preferred it to be a single cut. And last was the Ego Compressor by Wampler Mini. Now that pedal is a fantastic pedal, and it would definitely make the list, except for the fact that I already tried the big one before, and I love this just as much, and I love the fact that it's smaller, but I don't know if it's, you know, when I was trying to find what makes the 10 list, that's the only thing that cut these 3 items out. Again, I want to give them honorable mention because they were so great. Now let's get to number 1. Again, no particular order. This is just the last one on the list, and it's the Paul Reed Smith CE Custom 24. Now, why did I like this guitar? Well, not because it has a bolt-on maple neck. I like the thinner body. In fact, I preferred the body on that guitar to the Core Custom 24 model. I wish they would offer that as a feature on the Cores. I liked how the edge didn't cut into my arm as much, and I kind of liked the way the other one felt, the new CEs. I liked everything about the guitar. The pickups, the 58s or 85 58s were fantastic choices. Everything was just fit and finished correctly. It was a cool guitar. I like the fact that it comes with a gig bag. I prefer bags over cases most of the time, so that was a really cool feature for me. And I liked that they were offering some exciting new colors on the guitar. Now, I'd like to see more cool colors for 2017, and I'd hopefully like to see a bolt-on mahogany neck version. I know that sounds strange, but that would be really cool too. So definitely a cool guitar. So did you agree with the list? Did I miss something? You know, if you found a piece of gear this year that you thought was just amazing and you were shocked to see it wasn't on the list, put it in the notes. I'm curious to see what you liked. If you disagreed with something on the list because you thought I found an issue with it, let me know that too. Again, I'm curious to see what you guys thought. You know, right? There's, you know, you can't try everything, but I like to see what's out there. Also, I would like to take a second to thank this year the sponsor. The sponsor was a big deal, and they pretty much made this possible. So check out the sponsor right now. That's right. It was you guys. Thank you for buying shirts, Patreon, everything you've done to sponsor this channel. Believe it or not, it's a huge deal to be able to make these videos, and you guys have made that totally possible. I appreciate that in every way. You have no idea what that is to be a dream. It's a dream come true. This is what I'm doing, a dream come true. So thank you so much for all that. As always, guys, I want to thank you for your time as well, and know your gear.